The Casper Cup staple, Faker playing at some amazing 5-man Ws multiple times.
BDD. I'm ready.
BDD's here, and remember, this is the Flex Scion, so what are they going to consider here for the final pick? They have knock-up synergy with Rakan, Scion, and Sejuani, so certainly there's some validity into the Yasuo. Against Lissandra, outranging is usually the way you'd prefer to go, so Zoe would certainly fall in the outranging, and they're going to go for BDD's Zoe. That reverse legendary game from Pyrian was against BDD's Zoe, and we see it on the Rift for another time.
Yep, 2.4 thousand gold going to be the lead here for Hanwha Life. The first dragon will most likely go over to Bono as well.
And again, because of what I'm saying in terms of backline threat, I think Sivir with a frontline is still where I'd put the smart money on in the late game, but as you say, SKT led the way with this duo, and if you can maintain map control, your Baron threat and things like that can be so powerful. Mid lane, BDD continues to have a fun time with Lava.
Gets a cheeky Q off against him though, and Lava able to just get himself out.
Even a huge amount of turrets to find a lot of gold in the laning phase. It's the cost of lanes both going against KT in an expected fashion and in an unexpected fashion. We find KT pretty much in the hole in terms of gold, and that's why Score and Smeb have to really consider their next attempt at an engage.
Well, you can see Lava actually getting out with that claw, but not after taking the paddle star to the back of the head as BDD jumps forward, still has to use the cleanse to get out of the way, but True Shot Barrage goes completely wide. Even the Blue Sentinel is getting in amongst this one, as 4 members of KT might be able to lock down this blue buff finally. I have a feeling it will have to be a smite, though, to get it out of the way as BDD finding some more poke damage. Lava gets into the backline, even takes the blue buff, as now Snowflower trying to get his way out. Double teleports coming in, and that is Smeb. I don't know whether the choo-choo train's going to find the mark. He's still considering going for it. It's not going to happen this time around.
Most of the time. Need to stem the bleeding that Hanwha Life have been right on point with inflicting in the early game.
Oh, we got the train to come out here again. Disdain is great once more from Tal, but you can't get out of multiple abilities.
No damage here, Atlas.
Yeah, they're not going to actually land anything over the top as Zenit was out of the way. Thankfully, no Unbreakable to deny that Boomerang Blade, but still not going to get in there in time.
You just can't. They're trying to roll this skirmish comp with 3 members, but the 3 members are a Rakan, a Sejuani, and a Scion. That's not the 3 members that do damage like they did in game number 1. So KT trying to repeat that and finding no inroads in game number 2.
Yeah, and you can see BDD, he's just trying to catch up into minions, trying to clear out this mid lane, and there's nothing he can really do about it. Yes, he's now brought it within 9, but
flexing that we saw from KT in game number 1. Smeb continues to back away. Sungyun's now mid lane.
Oh,
That's a trouble bubble.
That was one hell of a snipe as he gets stunned up. There's the grand entrance. This is a CG train, and now we've got some damage as Zenit grabs first blood. And they'll take a tower to boot. This is exactly what you want to get KT back into this game.
Going to see a Gunblade. It's going to be a pretty hybrid build, as we know from Double Tier Ezreal, but just want to outline that because Nady Carry going Sorcerer's Shoes needs a bit of explanation.
It's a little bit confusing, but they may have actually caught out Zenit here as he's in no man's land. Snowflower trying to help with the quickness, but nope, nothing they can do. The entire bottom lane just going to be torn apart by this Urgot, and Tal having a redemption game for himself here in this one. And as the amateurs in the Casper Cup and then have a woeful LCK, they can bounce back and they can make things change, as Score is about to be possibly able to figure that one out as Tal jumping in towards the backside of this fight, as well as the Devour on top of the Piggy, and Key says that was some delicious Samgyeopsal to start this one off.
Extension of all that map control. They had that flank ward there and no defensive wards for KT.
And Score to protect him while that happens, and it may not actually be enough here as they've caught out Snowflower. Does get into the stopwatch, but that is a C. Oh my goodness, he escapes the grand entrance as well to help him at the end. That battle dance, beautifully timed. Hanwha can't grab the kill, but they do have all of the priority. KT want to find more as Snowflower goes back to the base. Zenit down to half health now, but still some lower health bars on Hanwha Life. That's the double snare to come in as Score has a stopwatch. Smeb jumps himself all the way out, doesn't go for the stun, just wants to get rid of them. Takes them on a merry chase. I don't know whether that's exactly what they wanted as the ult misses from Score. Not something that we're used to seeing, and Smeb does pay the ultimate price in the end.
Everything KT is doing now is defensive around Zenit getting more items. That's what you're trying to do in this particular case, so you will outnumber wherever you go.
Sorry, feet on the pedal as far as moving forward, but Hanwha Life going to teleport their way back in. That's Key with his spellbook. They're going to start off this Baron. KT moving on over, get the vision very early. So Hanwha will break their way away, but they'll be counting these blue trinkets making sure that they know that they have complete control over the area and can start the Baron basically whenever they want.
Now you do see these cues, which should indicate to the side of KT that Hanwha Life are poking around the Baron. Right now, Baron damage pretty decent, as you can see from the Ezreal. They're on it already. Score still feels strong enough to walk up. He needs to.
Yeah, we do have the control ward in there, so the steal is certainly available.
2-level lead for the enemy jungle, but here's the turn.
Lava jumps on forward, but they are going to turn off this Baron. Snowflower trying to dance his way up. Vital right into the backline. Can he actually get the Fear Beyond Death? Snowflower just going to try and juke his way around, and so far doing a great job, but no, there it is. Arms it, gets a couple of fears as well. It's the only kill they've taken so far as Smeb will be the second. KT rolls to lose 2, and Hanwha Life now have an opportunity to head towards the Baron after they get some health bars back.
Tempo lead finally gets a meaningful objective for Hanwha Life. The 2 kills here should mean a lot of Baron control, but Score is healthy enough to continue to contest it. How will Hanwha Life problem solve themselves right now? Because finding a big objective like Baron is what they desperately need.
Yep, teleport is going to come in as Hanwha Lava has to move around the trouble bubble. B2D flashing his way out. That is not a counterfeit one as Score might be in trouble. Arctic Assault gets him to relative safety. True Shot Barrage is going to be spell shielded, but otherwise eaten by the rest of KT. Now too low to defend this easy Baron for Hanwha Life Esports.
Asking for, but not able to claim, comes around 29 minutes. And now with the Baron buff and multiple lanes to push, not even the Infinity Edge being done for Zenit should be the big answer, as Ezreal with Baron buff forces you to react, and then each of those ultimates should be just deleting health bars on the side of KT.
Yeah, finally Sungyun can breathe a sigh of relief, saying that he wasn't going to get 2-0'd by Snowflower, his former bottom lane duo. Sungyun now has to be a little bit careful of B2D. Still not over until the Fat Lady sings. However, she is really readying her voice this game, Papa. Hanwha Life, 13,000 gold the lead. They've got the Baron, they've got the tools in order to finish this one off.
Well, I've continued to push in top side, and it's just a case of escorting Sivir between laning phases because not really much else they can do at this present point. The Baron makes it so difficult for even Sivir to wave clear. Here's Sungyun in the mid lane. Remember that Ezreal, with that change, pushes pretty fast. He's engaged.
There's the double knock-up to come in, as well as the Tahm Kench will be the first one on the menu. The Grey Help is going to slow this one down very, very much, but not going to be enough as Hanwha Life say, well, I guess you can kill our Tahm Kench, but we're going to have a much better time elsewhere. True Shot Barrage, mid-animation, and B2D is going to take him down as well. So the bottom lane are traded for an inhibitor top side of the map, and now Hanwha trying to find more. B2D in trouble. Portal jump, not going to be able to get out of the way of anything though, as Bono grabs that kill. More bad news here for KT as their base is broken and they now no longer have there's Zoe for the wave clear.
And you see how inconsequential slick teamfight moves from a Zoe and an Infinity Edge Sivir is after all the early game went askew for the side of KT. Hanwha Life is still able to walk over, get the kill on the back end there. Doesn't matter that Sungyun went down. In fact, he can TP back in 15 seconds. The Baron buff being used to its fullest. They want to break the base in 3 lanes. 2.5 seems pretty possible.
Pretty likely that Key can also teleport his way back in with his spellbook also, so not too much of a worry here. 1 second and Sungyun can make his way back in, but Key just going to wander his way up.
Third inhibitor turret should go down as well. This is a bonanza value Baron for the side of Hanwha Life. Baron with Zoe, always so important against Zoe. The similar story. 3 inhibitors go down, and I think we might be getting the first 3-game series of LCK Spring 2019.
Yeah, definitely a welcome thing as well, as all 3 inhibitors, like you say, have been taken down. As you like, these rotations that they can make on any desperation engage KT find on a single member, certainly not going to give them anything.
Well, the full court press happening from Hanwha Life. They're freshly shot. There's item leads in every lane. Seems impossible for KT to keep this going, but they're going to damn try.
Yep, 6 super minions moving in every wave, as well as KT standing under their Nexus turrets, but they're not going to be there for very long, as even Lava's auto attacks are ridiculous. He dives his way forward. The health bars of the KT Rolster team are just disintegrating. Score going to go down first. Smeb has his Gargoyle Stone Plate, but it doesn't feel like it's doing anything right now, and Zenit going to be the second to go down. KT, the fountain is no longer safe, and they'll be wiped, and their Nexus very soon to follow.
And big ups to Hanwha Life, showing us that just a mental reset and another solid draft was all they needed to flip our expectations in this best of 3. We will be going the full 3 games. Hanwha Life are able, with no roster changes, to adjust to the early game, increase the tempo, get way more value out of Bono on this Olaf than we could have predicted. I thought KT had a very solid